Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in Revenant's Toll, where we want to continue crafting our Zodiac Weapon. And we continue with a quest from Papana. A Ponds of Flesh. The Book of Skylight is what we want. Oh, what use is it having wares aplenty to sell and not a soul around with any intent to buy them? But I suppose griping about won't change things none, nor do aught for Jusana. Oh, and where did the strapping lass like yourself spring from? If you have a mind to barter for tomes, there's no need to speak with yon pretty lass. Nay, Papana'll deal with you instead. Now, don't think ill of me as some filcher of others' customs. Nay, though I may be of a wandering sort at heart, I'm here because Jusana is me dearest friend from years back. I hadn't thought to meet her again in a place like this, though. 'Tis so cruel as a fate that keeps me friend here pawning books venture. Aye, Jusana's fallen into fearsome debt with that harpy Ravenna. Selling tomes is dull as the day is long, but even that's a boon for the lass. Well, Papana's nothing if not loyal, so I march myself up to Ravenna and wheedle myself work peddling tomes. What wares I don't need to eat, what wages I don't need to eat, I'm using to pay down Jusana's debt. Now, Venturer, were you not just telling me why you've come yourself? A book about ancient heroes and their weapons, very weird, huh? Well, there's just a chance I laid eyes upon such a tome just a few days ago, so there is. Tell you what, how about we make a fair trade of it? The book you want for a bombard core and a bottle of sacred spring water. And the bronze crystals. Aye, that's an eligible deal, if I do say so myself. Why, I shouldn't be but the work of a moment for a venturer like your fine self, but I'll give you a hint anyway. Gap a bit with the merchants around Camp Bronze Lake, and you might just get a shiny bit of work. Yeah, we had these before, huh? And I need a sacred spring water from you. I need to go to Camp Bronze Lake. And a bit southwest of that is a junkmonger who tells the Bronze Lake crystal. Sells a Bronze crystal for 100,000 gil. Yeah. And we need... Come here. The bombard core from the Grand Company. I hope I have enough company seals. Just barely. Ooh. Where's it? Bombard core. For 20,000 company seals. Well, seeing as you're back to Pratt, I take it you found the stuff I asked for? A bombard core, sacred spring water, and a Bronze Lake crystal. Now let's... Hold on a minute. Are you trying to cheat me out of a book with these? The bombard core's missing a bit, and there's a hair in the sacred spring water. And there ain't no upstanding head hair neither. Now, I'm not blaming you, but you must see that trading a rare and precious book for trinkets ain't fair, but I believe in second chances, and I'm willing to settle for something else. Something like a horn of a beast that prowls Desmal Darkhold. Aye, that and a god machine bankplate from a brave Flox's long stop will do nicely. Now, it ain't as if either grows on trees. The truth of it is, you would have more luck finding a god machine bankplate on a tree. Because that's why money dilettantes will pay a small fortune for two such rare pieces. If you bring them to me, you get your book and a kiss. So you will. Yeah. Okay. There's my Darkhold and Brave Flox's long-stop heart. Be right back. And I'm back, and with her items. Tis a grand thing to talk, but I'd rather have a horn of a beast and a god-machine bang plate in hand before we start gabbing. Well now, there ain't a single thing wrong with these, but I fear you've taken a few more bells when you ought to have. Really? While I was biding my time waiting for you, who should have come but some moneyed eccentric after me books of legendary arms? And you can bet his questions were backed with a grand old coin purse, so we were. Well, says I'm happy to hear I've got enough gil to buy a library's worth of rare books, but this one ain't for sale. I have a proper sense of duty. It's not like to bend for a lure of coin, but so I turned him down for you. But there's a limit to me kindness. After all, I've still got to eat and set my friend free from a winner. At present, I can't think of a reason in the realm to sell off a book, so long as you bring me a Narasima hide from Halatali and a sickle fang from Snowcloak. Well, your silence means we have an understanding. Ain't business relations grand old things? Cause the last can't hold it forever, no matter how strong your principles are. Best you thought of then, before I change my mind. Snowcloak, great. I haven't unlocked Snowcloak yet, and this is a main story dungeon, so this is a bit of time. Okay, so I end this part here, and we see each other when I'm done with that. Okay, I skip a bit ahead in the recording because, well, Snowcloak, right? The fourth item we get from Guiding Star. A labor of love. Ah, my kindred spirit, have you come for more of Talon's cookbooks? Or do you have another purpose here this day? He addressed me like that because I've already mastered a crafter. And, yeah, he gave a quest that unlocked Talon here. You need a versatile material from which to fashion anew the legendary arm of a Zodiac Brave. By God Spears, that's no small thing. I dare say some form of dark matter would best serve your purpose. But you found anything suitable in Eorzea's markets. Which means you're going to have to improvise. A truly unique material is called for. Well, you certainly know how to pique a craftsman's interest. I will aid you in this enterprise, adventurer. To begin, we must scour every ilm of the realm for materials with the requisite properties. Our search may last our lifetimes, maybe our children's lives too, but we shall be vindicated in death, even if it takes 500 years. Not one for jest, I take it. Even my passion is not so boundless. The materials I have in mind are hard to come by, it's true, but not so hard as all that. Allagan resin should serve as a base for our compound. I hear some trader found a few lumps of the stuff amongst the Allagan ruins in Southern Fanalan. If you browse the markets over there, you're sure to find one sooner or later. The journey will be long, of course, but not so arduous as searching every ilm of Eorzea. You heard the man. We go to Southern Fanalan. To be more precise, to the Forgotten Springs. And it's this merchant in Mender, who has Allagan resin for another 100,000 gil, which makes me broke now. And back to him. Okay, Guiding Star. So you returned, adventure. Have you found our base material? Here is Allagan resin. A multi-purpose ferrochemical concoction devised by the Allagans for use in many of their creations. Ah, the fabled resin of Alak, an A substance, I grant you. None alive know the true extent of its powers, nor less their source. I believe, however, that any attempt to recreate the arm of the Zodiac Brave will founder without a base material as mutable as aether. This resin is one such substance. It will readily take on the qualities of whatever we choose to add to it. Which brings us on to the question of what exactly to add. Plainly, the compound must needs to be indurate at heart, lest it break during battle. Yet subtle enough as that no blow may make it shatter. A veil bubo of a kind sometimes found within the aurum veil will provide ample rigidity. Born of brimstone and mithril, there's no more unyielding in ore. As for the subtleness, a piece of void weave would seem the ideal choice. If rumors are to be believed, it's a cloth bound together by magics from the Dark Realm. I cannot speak for the truth of such claims, of course, but I do know the fabric has only ever been found in areas where voids and roam in great numbers. I fear that acquiring these materials will require no small amount of effort on your part. But we can ill afford to compromise on quality if your dream of wielding a legendary arm is to become a reality. And that means we go to Aurum Vale and Hawkey Manor Heart. Okay, Guiding Star, I got what you needed. Oh, adventure, I trust the builder led your way through the Vale and the Voidsand. Yep. Well, I'll be damned. The Veil Bubble and the Void Weave, just as I requested. Well done to you, my friend. Well done indeed. Our work here is far from over, however. While we now possess the means to imbue a compound with strength and subtleness, it still wants for elegance and beauty. For the former, I believe a slip of Underpore Vellum will serve. The people of the Lost City used magics to protect their writing against the ravages of time, meaning that perfect specimens can be found there even now. As for beauty, an indigo pearl would be best, but none save the Sargin can wrest them from the deep. That being the case, I'd suggest paying a visit to a Sastasha sea god, the pirates were fought to guard the fishback's treasures. An arduous path awaits, adventurer, but she who faces the great risk reaps the greatest reward. Once you have brought these two, we will have all the materials we need. May the builder light your way. And you heard, man. Off to the Lost City and the Sastasha Heart Dungeon. And I'm back, ready to turn in the items. Ah, how elegant will a compound be for a slip of Underport Vellum. How radiant for an indigo pearl. Your efforts have paid off handsomely, my friend. We now hold everything we need to imbue our compound with the necessary qualities. Which just leaves the small matter of making it. I will need to leveragate the items you have gathered. However, the forces released in the grinding are enough to shatter solid stone. Only a perfect mortar and pestle can withstand the magic of mixing. Though it pains me to ask more of you. Could you procure that? How you go about it is your business, of course. But my inner crafter tells me you can fashion them yourself. If you're inclined to try it, would advise a journey to the Silver Bazaar. The components of antiques from ages past can find new purposes after all. As he said, these items we need are craftable. The perfect pestle requires aged pestle pieces, a cypress block, and paste leather. And a smith with mastery 1, blacksmith. And we need an armor smith with aged mortar pieces. Palladian silver, you can get those in dungeons or levis in certain places. I believe Southern Fanalan in particular. And mahogany lumber. Yeah, mahogany lumber is easy, Palladian silver not so much. And this is armor craft, as I said. Yeah, I have prepared those already. Oh, and the aged pieces you get in the Silver Bazaar, you can buy old items and you can then desynthesize them to get these things. And I'm absolutely broke now. The quality of these tools, I tell you, adventure, it is a rare indeed to work with such fine instruments. I thank the builder that you chose to entrust me with this commission. Had you not, I might have gone to my grave, never having laid hands on anything so fine. I can hardly wait to begin. Yet, wait I must. Unless you happen to have a spare bombard core and some sacred spring water to hand. The first is to provide sufficient heat to ensure that the constituents blend properly during firing, and the second to quench a mixture without adding impurities. Though no ordinary merchant will have either of those in stock, I'm quite sure an adventurer of your experience will be able to find them somewhere or the other. Yeah, I need 20,000 company seals for... yeah. Okay. Time to collect company seals, huh? Okay. I finally got the bombard core and the sacred spring water. Well, the water was the least problem. It cost just a bunch of poetics tokens, which are easy to get. But the bombard core, right? 20,000 company seals. Well done, my friend. All the pieces are in place. Our 4 key ingredients are ready to be mixed within Allergan resin, and then naught remains but to heat and quench the blend. Now, allow me to crown your efforts by bringing this miraculous material into being. I present to you a material the likes of which this realm has never seen. It shall take whatever form an artisan wills, melt with whatever he commands, its very essence becoming one with the whole. No other substance can boast such strength, subtleness, elegance, beauty, and versatility, and naught else is fit to forge anew an arm of legend. Friend, I give you Zodium. That the lonely road to mastery should lead me here. You have my gratitude, adventurer, for fanning the flames of my curiosity and urging me to venture into the unknown. Now take this Zodium and reforge a weapon of yore. Finally. Took far longer than I wanted, and then I forgot about it. It took so long. Okay. Now, the last piece. Okay. This took a lot longer than I wanted, because the dungeon I needed to clear for this was very late in the main quest. Well, don't we have to have a look of accomplishment about us? And do we have a Narasima hide and a sickle fang to back it up? Narasima hide and sickle fang. Thank you, friend. 'Tis a grand thing that you've done for me. So it pains me to tell you that I can't hand over your book just as yet. See, I've had to earn a lot of gil to free Gisana, and I can't very well do that if I fall from Ravena's good graces. As it happens, Ravenna ordered me to toss a heap of old tomes too moldy for selling into the furnace. No clue why, but I have to do that before speaking to those with custom. But I have no notion how long it will take me to set fire to the lot, and 'tis twice the pity as I could incinerate the whole heap in an instant if only I had a furnace ring to light the blaze and a bundle of perfect firewood to keep it aflame. Ain't life unfair, adventurer? Here I was, all ready to give you the book you've worked so hard for, and I can't be dealing with another task. You bring it to me. You're a true friend. So, I'll not have you stumbling around the realm searching for other things. I've heard bits of aged items in the Silver Bazaar can find new use if you have a skill to take them apart. Well, no. I'll just wait here for you. Now hurry on back to this dainty lass. Yeah, that is again crafted for the the goldsmith. He's a furnace ring, and the carpenter is the firewood. Here's your stuff. "12 be praised, you've done it! Now I won't have to spend ages up to me ears in musty old books." "You've done right by me, I must admit. Never thought you'd do all I've asked of you, especially as I'm the one who will profit most from your labor. But 'tis all for good if it serves to set Gisana free." I do hope you're not too upset with me. I realize it's horrible to take advantage of a vulnerable, and even more horrible knowing that's what you're doing. I was on the other hand once, when I hadn't two guilds to scrap together. I had to join a certain crew known for having sticky fingers to get by. It was there I met Gisana. Don't know what I'd have done without her. I'll probably be rotting away in some godforsaken jail. A saint among thieves, that Gisana is. One what trusted not wisely, but too bloody well. Her lover ran off with her crew's coffers, and she took the responsibility for repaying it, while she was kicked out on her tail with a mountain of debt to boot. Nothing for a pretty lass but to steal and skirmish to make the money back. But a hard life that is, and Gisana washed up here, broken and battered to lick her wounds before too long. Well, she meets Ravenna, sells herself into servitude to pay off her debts, and you know the rest. It ain't a new story, of course. My travels have taught me that much. The realm is full to bursting with hard-working souls like her. Good folk would keep going even after being stabbed in the back. But I want someone to beat the odds, and I do all I can for that someone to be my friend. Well, don't I sound like the sentimental fool? Anyway, you've given what I wanted, and now it's my turn. Here, have your Book of Skylight. I hope it helps you beat the odds too. You have obtained all the necessary items to recreate a Zodiac Weapon. Report to Gerolt in Hurstmold to proceed. No, I have to equip the weapon? Okay, then I have to equip the weapon this time. So you found all 4 bits and pieces, huh? How do I know? It's written all over your smug face. Does Gerolt speak true, my friend? You've recovered all the items? Huzzah! Come, my friends, let us recreate an arm of yore. We ain't there just yet, Yalzan. I can forge holes with the raw materials. What does it be brought quick as you please? But all we have then is a fancy weapon with the essence of a legendary arm. We still got to join with a special materia. By my reckoning, it's the only way to infuse our new host with the power of souls. How do you propose we fashion this materia? Should Desiree gather 10 pieces of each form of Atma? No, mayhap 20. 50? Surely materia composed of 50 pieces would be sufficient? What the hells are you on about, old man? My answer's right in front of your eyes, the bleeding relic itself. Aye, you and Desiree have done a fine job of filling the thing up with soul energy as we ancients did. Just turn all that to materia and melt it with our new host to make the soul descend into an arm of legend. 'Tis an awful amount of energy to deal with, though. Your average old craftsman would make a right mess of me finest smithing and disperse the souls to boot. What we need is a real master of materia, if you catch me drift. Master Mutamix, but of course, who else but he could create such potent materia? Come, Desiree, you must go to the bonfire and ask his aid at once. Surely you will not refuse the challenge? And to Fanalan. Hubertin and Atkin trade many tongue flaps about spear scouts, but today Abena seeks materia knowings of Mutamix. Uplander wants to make legendary fighting tool into materia. Interesting. Fighting tool full of airy self become amazing materia. And with the knowings of Mutamix brain case, it's possible. But Mutamix has shiver shakes. It is very big chance game. Even with the knowings of Mutamix cannot give word bond of success. Brain case filled with doubtful buzzing muchly. May go very, very unrightly. If Mutamix is failing, legendary fighting tool will turn to bitty bits. Every self go bye-bye too. But will give hand landing if Uplander is unweak of bladder. Give hail call and Mutamix make trip to your stay place. And back to Hostel. And what did Mutamix have to say? Ha! Knew he couldn't say no to a challenge like this. And that means that everything's set for the great show. I've got me forge fired up, so all that's left is to tell Yazan you're ready and willing. Well, me adventuring friend. What say we create as a legendary arm? What's Nexus? And now we need to unequip the Zodiac Weapon or what? Zodiac Weapon recreation. You're ready to recreate a legendary arm from times of Eld? Let us make the soul of your current relic ascend to a new forged vessel, and so we make a Zodiac Weapon. The 4 items? Yes, the Zodiac Weapon we make with these will be a finer than aught else in the land. If you are firm on your purpose, let us begin. The culmination of our efforts is so close at hand, Desiree. Come, let us call Master Mutavix and when to work. So I'll be first. Well, just you watch what I can do with this old hammer and anvil. I'll forge a host for the Zodiac Weapon what's got no equal in all Eorzea. Well, it's done. Hold the weapon precisely as it was in the days of yore. All that's left is to melt materia to it. Well, Master Mutamix, I believe that's your area of expertise. Will you transform Desiree's relic into materia? This relic is very mighty fighting tool, full of airy self. Mutamix has many shiver shakes. Cannot give word bond. The secret joining skill of Mutamix will be success. If fail, fighting tool will turn to bitty bits. Please be warned, the success chance for turning a relic weapon nexus into materia is 1.4%. The relic will be lost if a process fails. The game is actually screwing with you here. It works. It works. Yes. Please be warned, the chance of success for turning a relic weapon nexus into materia is 1.4%. Your relic will be lost if the process fails. Are you certain you wish to proceed? That's the spirit. Well, you've heard the bold last, Mutamix. Make the relic into materia. When let the chance game of many hard thumbs begin? Giant Eyes. Das Mutamix Trucy? The relic fighting tool of the Uplander is now materia. Mutamix has success muchly. Ha! I knew you had it in you, Mutamix. Then all that's left for us is to join the relic-made materia to Gerolt's Zodiac Weapon host. Now I shall attempt to complete the arm with a Zodiac scroll and flawless Alexandrite. Sasuke, the hero who freed the people from a tyrant's reign, wielded blades like these. The ninja himself bore the blood of ancient heroes, and his own descendants bore the daggers for long generations after he passed away. Come, take up your pair of Sasuke's blades, born of stars' radiance, forged through heroes' might, and imbued with soul's blessing. Lethal weapon. And as the quest spoils, there is another step for this. Desiree, you see before you a man content. My studies are complete, and I'm now composing my master treatise on the enhancement of arms through soul infusion. Once I have finished, I intend to return to my homeland. My journey of discovery, in other words, now draws to a close. I tell you though, the research I performed here was the most meaningful of my career. It was your deeds that led me to these new heights, and you have my deepest gratitude. And I must not forget to thank Gerolt. I have an exquisite liquor from my own private cellar, a small token of my appreciation. Might I ask you to deliver it? Would be altogether too embarrassing to give it to him myself. Oh, the weather is loud. Yeah, present from Yelza now, is it? You'd think the bugger thanked me in the flesh, but I love his gift all the same. I'm still dreaming of the last bottle's fiery cake. Just as well you're here, though. I've been meaning to have a word with you about your Zodiac Weapon. See, I got curious as to the tales of the Braves, so I bargained a bit with Rowena and get myself a complete set of from the She-Devil. Even laid me hands on the last tome of the series, the Book of Neverdark. What's written there surprised the living hells out of me. Seems your original Zodiac weapons each had a self all of their own, a sentience shaped by the bearer's very soul. The arms grew mightier and easier to wield of their own will, based on nothing but the character and needs of their heroes. It weren't just something as simple as having a piece of steel you've grown accustomed to. Those weapons were like extension of a brave's bodies. Aye, 'tis why they were the greatest arms of their own ages, and why they were lost. You can hardly pass a weapon down through the generations if no other bugger can wield it for shite, can you? Gerolt, this is hardly what I expected to hear upon coming to bid you farewell. Tell me, do you think this tale true? Aye, God's help me I do, and I reckon there's a decent chance that recreated Zodiac Weapon can do the very same thing. Mind you, any other armament you'd be a fool to try, but Desiree's weapon got soul and light in it. I'd wager me next 6 pints of meat that's got some form of sentience already. I have a mind that it ain't fully awakened yet. It's a strange concept, but I suppose we've encountered strange in our travails. Moreover, this notion of sentience could be the origin of how these arms came to achieve the legendary status. Ha! A weapon able to choose its wielder by its own will. Fascinating, simply fascinating. Why, I can imagine no truer ally. It ain't like to keep you company with its bantering, Jelzan. We're talking about forging an unbreakable bond betwixt the soul of a wielder and the weapon. Well, Desiree, you come this far. You keen on seeing this through? Dear me, it would seem as though a postponement of my homeward journey is in order. We must set to this venture forthwith. I'm glad of the help, Jelzan, but starting out on this venture is easier said than done. And for aught else, you got to crack how to awaken the sleeping sentience in Desiree's arm. Indeed, indeed. Mayhap we can awaken the soul within the arm via some substance, alike in character. Creating a resonance betwixt the souls can allow for the transference of certain qualities after all. Atma, for instance, has no sentience of its own to speak of. Yet, as a crystallized soul of a living being, it can contain a particular sense, an aspect of consciousness, if you will. Alas, I fear Atma is too weak. However, some stronger variety of crystallized soul may be capable of bestowing its sense into the slumbering sentience. Of course, for the weapon to profit by this, simply possessing the crystal will not be enough. The sense will not magically transfer itself. We will have to find a way to make the soul without connect to the soul within. Wielding the weapons while the crystallized soul is near could be the answer. Or we might also... Wait, the first thing you said about wielding the weapon, that ain't half bad. And I just so happen I have an idea where you might get the kind of crystallized souls you're talking about. Desiree, you need to pay a Rowena a visit, cause it ain't her you want, but her introduction to a bloke called Ramon. The man handles arcane goods and comes round to Rowena's place every now and again. Not regular like though. Ramon's one what only wheels and deals in the shadows. Gerolt, you are acquainted with a merchant of a black market? I knew your shady past would aid us at some point. There's no time to waste, Desiree. Pray see about arranging this introduction. And Gerolt, hey, that's not very nice. Let me guess, here in an account of Gerolt and some weapon or another. How close did I come? Well, at least now I know why Gerolt was hankering for those old tomes. Like a starved cat after a plump mouse he was. When that man starts working, me ain't not in this realm as can stop him. I ain't changed a bit of when we were traveling around. Oh, but that's what's it we were talking about again? Ah, that's right, you were hunting for Ramon. Well, I reckon he's the man you want, given what you're after. Cause the problem ain't finding him. It's the getting him to help you part. See, a fair ways back, Ramon lent Gerolt a pretty lump of money. Time comes to repay it, and Gerolt tries to run. Certain words are said, certain bottles thrown. Needless to say, Ramon hates the blacksmith more than Morbol Bile. I ended up repaying the sum Gerolt owed, but Ramon's kept that grudge smoldering inside him for nigh on 20 years. I understand well why enough, I suppose. Could have bought 10 manses in the lavender beds with what Gerolt took. I conjure any man would be hesitant to give and forget after that. Now that you know the particulars, I give you your introduction, but best to keep in mind that folk as work in the shadows are real sticklers for their code. Won't deal with a soul what's broken it, nor their friends. So run on back to Hurstman and tell Gerolt that Ramon is in his usual haunt. But I don't think the merchant will touch you with a 10-foot pole unless the dolt apologizes in full. Okay, Gerolt. What's that about Ramon? Just like that gill-pinching bastard to not deal with you unless I go grovel at his bloody feet. You'd think I'd water under the witch by now. It's been full 20 years since... But it ain't the money, is it? It's the woman. Never you bleeding mind who. The point that Ramon won't just forgive me no matter how long or loud I apologize. Have you considered that a gift may say more than words can, Gerolt? Surely you know of something dear to him. You heard all that, did you? As it happens, I can't rightly remember what Raymond likes, well, save for a bottle of liquor or free. And the fiery liquor I gave you is the answer, is it not? No, don't talk nonsense. It ain't every day I can drink such fine spirits. That liquor's mine and mine it's going to stay. Fine. For the sake of a bloody Zodiac weapon, I'll partner with me bottle of sunshine. You will not regret this, Gerolt. Though I'm sorry to say that bottle represents the last of the spirits I brought from Razatan. God damn it all. Please, Yazan, at least tell me you have not run out of the ingredients you'd need to brew a potion. I have not. Well, all of my alchemical equipment is now buried in the bottom of my luggage. But pray tell, what would you have me do with them? Something I read in the Trials of the Braves. For now, let's just say we'll need a potion or the like if this awakening business goes to plan. Now, Desiree, if Rowena said Raymond is in his usual haunt, then you need to make your way to Swift Perch. Once you find the bloke, you need to give him... just give him this bottle of sunshine and say it's from me. Get yourself some of what he's stealing, and then he off to battle. Central pass to your weapon through soul resonance, and the more blows you strike, the sooner its sentience starts to wake. No doubt the Zodiac glass will aid you in taking measurements of a soul resonance. Once you have imbued your arm with enough senses, return to me and I will do my utmost to see its potential realized. And that is in Limsalominster's Swift Perch, a little side town. Good day to you. Desiree, isn't it? Ah, so I thought. I've been expecting you. A gift from Gerolt. Ah, this must be Geralt's token of apology. What an exotic aroma. I'm afraid no bottle of liquor, be it ever so fine, can quell the hate I bear the man. However, I will accept this olive branch nonetheless. But surely it came as much to rouse something from slumber as to lay an old grudge to rest. No need to explain, not to a man with a web of 1,000 eyes and ears. You seek to awaken the sentience nestled within your Zodiac weapon. Or am I wrong? So I thought. I must say, even I was surprised to hear that Gerolt succeeded in recreating a Zodiac Brave's arm, and amazed to learn the weapon concealed yet another secret. Now, of all my wares, Mahatma should serve best to bring that secret to light. Mahatma. Or Mahatma? I think Mahatma is right, but it's a Mahatma. I have 12 types all told, each a shard of a soul with a distinct sense contained within. I cannot say if it will be what Gerolt was expecting, but attaching them to your weapon in careful order should do, something. As one who once threaded over the anvil, I'm intrigued to see what. The merchant and me, however, cannot give Mahatma away for free. The price is elegant tombstones of poetics. Rowena will never more be mine, but I would still aid her with these where I can. Ah, and you don't need to worry about me. I'm a dear from the shadows, but I dislike shadowy dealings. When you're ready to purchase Mahatma, simply say the word and produce the elegant tombstones, of course. Completing certain activities with Mahatma affixed to your Zodiac weapon will generate soul resonance. As this increases, the soul within your arm will begin to awaken. By using the Zodiac glass, it's possible to visually verify your progress with each variety of Mahatma. If you misplace your Zodiac glass, you may obtain a replacement by speaking with Drake. Once you have used all 12 varieties of Mahatma and increased the soul resonance to a point of awakening, return to Yalzan. Paladins only need to affix to Excalibur. Okay, then buy a Mahatma. Well, you've come for my wares, haven't you? So I thought. Well, produce my payment and I will happily provide Mahatma for whatever Zodiac weapon you wish. Start at the beginning, 50 Mahatma, 50 elegant tombstones per Mahatma. So we strike our accord. Here's your Mahatma of a Ram, a crystal set to awaken a sense of assertion within souls. I've taken the liberty of affixing it to your arm. Now go forth and wield it. And this is basically again the what we had before, the light gathering, the what is it? The spirit bond thing. Only you need always in certain increments. Easiest way is again run Tamtara Deepcroft several times. You need 2 runs per Mahatma, and I see you when I'm done. And that was the last. Zodiac Weapon complete. And let's return to Yalzan and Gerolt. For the record, I did not all of this with Fates, yeah? Most of it I did, as I said, through Tamtara. I was just sick and tired of that and knew I was close. Yep, but no. Does sentience stir now within your Zodiac weapon? And it's nighttime to end its dreaming. Again, unequip the weapon. Now, Sasuke's blades. Here are Sasuke's blades. Upon waking, your Zodiac weapon will truly be the finest arm and fiercest ally in all the realm. If you are firm in your purpose, let us begin. Item level 135. I confess, my friend, I have awaited your return most eagerly. Even holding your weapon in my hand, I can sense the soul within pulses more strongly than ever before. If I heard all that rightly, Desiree, your weapon's ready and raring to wake up? Meaning it's time for the grand finale, eh, Yazan? I'm unclear on what part I must play, Gerolt. I've made ready my alchemical supplies for the occasion, but I do not know what you would have me concoct, nor for the matter, why. Alright, well, you remember the Book of Neverdark? Well, there's precious few what have ever heard of it. 'Tis a fact that its pages hold the last truth of Zodiac weapons. Truth? What do you mean? In ages past, terrible demons known by the name Zodiac would appear in our world. And when they did, a hero wielding a shining weapon would arise to strike the fiends down. Do you know that particular tale? There are few who know it better. You speak of a song of the Zodiac Braves. I began my research precisely because I thought its accounts of the legendary weapons held a grain of truth. Ah, but did you know the weapons weren't wreathed in light when the Braves slew the fiends? Aye, wasn't till those arms tasted of demon's blood that the sentience blossomed deep within, and they burst forth in a brilliant halo. 'Tis how the Zodiac weapons were truly born, but that's a bit of a tale got lost as it was handed down through the ages. Ah, very good, Gerolt, very good indeed. We have no demon blood to awaken Desiree's arms, but we can mimic it with a quasi-soul potion thick with ether. You're a quick-witted one, make no mistake. Well, now we've all caught up, let's give it a try. There, that ought to be thick enough coat of my demon's blood potion. The rest I shall leave to you, Gerolt. Seeing as there ain't many demons of a Zodiac around to fight, I'll just have to mimic that battle with the flames of me forge and the pounding of me hammer. Now, let's perfect the old relic what we began so long ago. The weapon's responding to me touch like a wonder. I can feel the soul inside trembling, like it's aching to wake up. So let's give it what it wants. We've done it. We created a legendary arm exactly as it was, sense of self and all. You gods, come this way, take up your weapon. Behold, a legend made manifest in all its glory. None but the realm's most valiant adventurer, her most masterful blacksmith, and her most accomplished alchemist could have recreated this true heir to the weapons of yore. Nay, he reforged a new legends, weapons beyond all compare. The ages will echo with her name, the pair of Saska's blades, Zeta. The letter Z. Something seems to be giving Yazan pause. My dear, dear girl, thanks to you I've developed my soul infusion methodology and seen a legendary arm reborn in all its glory. For all this and more, you have my eternal gratitude. I had devoted my life to just these two goals, yet neither could I have accomplished alone. Though I risked life and limb, verily, it was right I should come to Eorzea. One matter puzzles me still, however. Why was the Book of Neverdark, a priceless resource, never completed or circulated? If I have learned anything by now, it's that Gerolt can shed some light on the matter. Come, my friend, let us make one last journey across the village green, for the sake of knowledge itself. Might be as I had one too many earlier, but aren't we done with the Zodiac weapons? Why is it you keep hounding me like a pair of bloody debt collectors? We've merely come with a question about the Book of Neverdark, Gerolt. Where did you lay hands upon this unfinished tome, pray tell? Ravena's place, of course. I came across it while I was picking up the rest of the Trials of the Braves. Ravena said she'd only sell the tome to a collector what'll pay a king's ransom for it. Till I threatened to wed her again with this. Well, you can bet she handed over in a hurry after that. Is that so? Anyway, that's printed plenty of the Trials, but I've heard nothing about another copy of a Book of Neverdark. Like as not, that's why you never saw it in Razatan. See, the Trials is a load of scattered tales about the ancient heroes gathered and bound up in a book. 'Tis admired as a work of fancy just as much as an account of the ancients. But this Book of Neverdark, well, it's just raw facts. Seems like it were added to the set after everything else, and you can tell that no editor's pen ever touched it. 'Tis really just a treatise on the Zodiac Braves. So we owe our gratitude to a scholar. Was there aught by which to identify the author? I would remember him and so learn by his example. Hell, Shazan, I don't... But now that you mention it, there is a name written here. Looks like... Ultalam. Ultalam, you say? He was the father of my line, an artisan famed for his pursuit of knowledge. Well, I'll be tri-stamped. If the man's your ancestor, might be as you'd like to hear what I found scrawled at the back of a tome. Just a moment. After years of careful study, I come to realize that I, Ultalam, cannot recreate an arm of the Zodiac Braves. I record mine own findings here, that men with like ambition may follow in my footsteps. To the one who succeeds in bringing forth a weapon of the ancient heroes, I leave my eternal admiration and the title of Starforger, bringer of radiance. Gods be good, for I knew it not, I had dreamed the same dream as my forefather. Everything, from my encounter with the tales of the braves to my choice of studies, must have been written in the stars. In sooth, it was right that I journeyed countless miles and weathered stormy sea to come to Eorzea. Hearken to me, spirit of Ultalam. Rest well, knowing that I, Yalzan, accept the title of Starforger from you. Aye. Hold on for 1 sodding second. Might be as you're one that came with a tale of the legendary weapons, but who was it that made the bloody thing? Me, that's who. And who was it that found the Book of Neverdark? Poor old unthanked Gerolt. The title is mine fair and square, even if there ain't a single gill in it. Gill? The title cannot be measured, not even in gold, sir. It is a priceless honor granted by my ancestor to the one who fulfilled his dream. Me. The title is mine by blood and merit both. Like hell's it is. Do you know what a smithy does? We work a bit of our soul into each blade and kettle we forge. I've sacrificed a good slice of my own bleeding life to the Zodiac Weapon, and I ain't about to just let you walk away with a title. You insolent cur, I'd thought you were but rough around the edges, but I see now that I was right about you from the start. You are the greatest boar in all the lands. You bleeding coot, you're just stubborn in your old age. The title should go to someone what's got a future, and if you can't see that, then you're the biggest ass around. And to obey now. Yep. Ah, Yalzan. Didn't you say not so long ago yourself that only we three together could have achieved this? And now you want the title all for yourself? Can't we all have it, please? I would like the Starforger title. That encounter was except my strength, though not my sense of outrage. I can scarce believe that boar would not yield so much as an ilm. I simply cannot abide the thought of Gerolt taking that title. I had thought to journey homewards, but now I see I must stay and make him listen to reason. There are far worse places to call home than Earthman, I suppose, and I have, after all, developed a taste for Eorzean cuisine. Of course, my continued tenure here would be all the better if you visited now and again. I should like to learn of your adventures and would be happy to enhance your arm through the power of materia. Now this way, go forth with your Zodiac Weapon, and with it, create your own legends. Zodiac Weapons, the saga ends, finally. Now there is more stuff from Yalzan, but that is not directly to do with the Zodiac Weapons, but you need to at least finish one Zodiac Weapon to unlock it. But I think we deal with it another time, because this episode will likely be overlong again. Until next time then, when we do something else and play more Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Mace, and don't get lost.